Aidan Timmons and motoring editor Eddie Cunningham team up to help readers make the right choice with their next car. Aidan visits dealers all over the country to produce a monthly guidebook on the values of used cars. He is co-editor of Motor Trade Publishers, who supply a car valuing service to the motor trade, insurance companies and finance houses. Eddie is author of former bestseller Clever Car Buying. My car is a Nissan Tiida 1.6 SE 2007 which I bought in 2009 for $15,000. Annual mileage, 16,000 kilometers. I have seldom bought a new vehicle over my 45 years of car ownership. I usually change when a car is 6-7 years old and buy a 2-year-old then, usually Nissan. I would probably stay with Nissan now. The reason I've retained the present car is I just like the comfort and performance. It has been reliable and a good fit for me. I have let the change intervals drift. Maybe that's a mistake as I realize a 10-year-old will not do much as a trade-in. Road tax of around $580 is another negative. I am 70 years old and not interested in a new car. Any observations advice for me? Aidan. How about a Nissan Pulsar? It's a hatchback of similar proportions to your Tiida and it comes with a lovely 1.2-liter petrol engine. You say that you buy 2-year-old cars but I think you should look at a 161 plate, even though it is not fully 2 years old just yet. There is good value at the top end of the market so you won't need to spend a whole pile more to get a fresher car. There are even a few automatic models doing the rounds. You want a Nissan and you seem to love your Tiida. The Pulsar is a logical replacement. Eddie. Left fielder here for you. I think you'd do a great deal with the Dacia Sandero. Technically it's in a smaller segment than the Tiida but it's a big, roomy, no frills car nonetheless. You'd pick up a good 2-year-old for decent money now. Or maybe even buy one new with a 3-year warranty for around the $13,000 mark.
As the global leader in electric vehicle sales, Nissan continues its pursuit toward a clean energy future with the reveal of the all-new Nissan LEAF. Jose Munoz, Chief Performance Officer, Nissan Motor Company, Limited and Chairman, Nissan North America, Incorporated, unveiled the 2018 Nissan LEAF at a media event at Las Vegas Thomas and Mack Arena in early September. When we launched LEAF in 2010, it instantly became the most affordable, mass-market EV in the world. We are not walking away from that proposition, said Munoz. The value equation for the new LEAF is even stronger than ever before, beginning with a starting MSRP of $35,998. That includes more power, range and technology, all wrapped in a beautiful new exterior and interior design. The new 2018 LEAF features a 241-kilometer driving range, aerodynamic exterior, roomy high-tech interior and advanced technologies including ProPilot unregistered trademark assist and e-pedal. It is the first step in the relaunch of Nissan's EV platform and will be followed in model year 2019 with a high-power version with increased motor power and battery capacity with a price premium. In Canada, the Nissan LEAF offers a weather package fitted as standard which includes heated front and rear seats, heated steering wheel and battery heater. A Level 1/Level 2, 120V/240V, charger cable is also standard in Canada. To date, Nissan LEAF sales in Canada total over 5,400 and more than 283,000 globally. Its new ProPilot Assist, Nissan's advanced single-lane driver assistance technology, helps ease driver workload by reducing the amount of driver acceleration, steering and braking input under certain driving conditions. While a hands-on system, it previews Nissan's ongoing development of future leading-edge autonomous drive technologies. The LEAF's revolutionary e-pedal technology transforms the driving experience. It lets drivers start, accelerate, decelerate and stop by increasing or decreasing the pressure applied to the accelerator. When the accelerator is fully released, regenerative and friction brakes are applied automatically, bringing the car to a complete stop. The car holds its position, even on uphill slopes, until the accelerator is pressed again. The reactiveness of e-pedal helps maximize driving pleasure. We believe the new Leaf will be another game changer for Nissan in North America, just as the redesigned Rogue has been in the last year and a half, hitting the sweet spot in the growing EV segment, said Munoz. It takes everything we've learned from our loyal first-generation Leaf owners to the next level.
Nissan has cleaned the Altima's house for the 2018 model year. There are some new tech additions, and some removed trim levels, and on the whole, the prices don't change all that much. The major addition to the 2018 Nissan Altima is the inclusion of standard autonomous emergency braking and forward collision warning on every trim level. The top-tier Altima 3.5 SL also gets adaptive cruise control as standard, along with an infotainment system that includes navigation, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Nissan also removed two trims, the base 2.5 and the sportier 3.5 straight-ins. The now base Altima 2.5S starts at $23,140, a bump of $240 over last year. It, and every other 2.5 model, packs a 179 horsepower i4 gas engine. A CVT is the only transmission on offer. A 5-inch infotainment system is standard, as are power windows and a backup camera. A power driver's seat and remote start are optional. The next trim up is the SR, which adds sportier elements like smoked light housings, paddle shifters and unique interior accents. The suspension is also a bit stiffer for a sportier driving feel. That one will set you back $24,200, which is $270 cheaper than last year. The top two trims are SV and SL, the latter of which arrives with fancy kit like a premium audio system, heated leather seats and additional safety equipment like blind spot monitoring and rear cross-traffic alert. SL models can also equip a 270 horsepower, 3.5-liter V6 instead of the 4-banger.
I am a Nissan fanboy, but I don't understand why the Nissan GT-R is so hyped. Personally, I prefer the Z cars, 240Z and Z32. Is it because of the Fast and the Furious franchise? Because I see all these GT-Rs that are 500 plus bhp and honestly, no one needs that much power, asked one Nissan fan today on Reddit, generating these interesting responses from fellow GT-R fans. User Spujato18 agrees that the Nissan GT-R is overrated, but brings 5 reasons why the car is popular among many drivers. The GT-R lineage dates back to the 60s, and it was more or less a sporty rear-wheel drive car that led Datsun to the right formula required for an affordable, fuel-efficient and reliable fun car. In the late 80s, as all-wheel drive cars started to get more refined, the R32 model had acquired this, coupled with the famous RB25, followed by the RB26. Both engines are very tune-happy, superbly reliable for the power they handle, and the sound. The RB engine was designed more or less as a racing project, and for these reasons, combined with a large history of winning races, it was underclassed in. Fun fact: Nissan was banned from using the R32 for a couple years due to the technological advancements not yet acquired by other manufacturers, and they ended up detuning the racing engines, but still went often. It is an overrated car, no doubt, but it has strong roots. There are some factors other than the history that make these cars popular. The importation laws require the said car to be 10 to 15 years old depending on location. The R32-34 are all able to be shipped over now. 1. A huge aftermarket for every aspect of the car. 2. The overall style and design of the car is reminiscent of the racing heritage that Nissan held over the years. 3. It's featured in almost every single licensed racing game made since the mid-90s with titles like Gran Turismo, Forza, Grid, etc. 4. What's not to like about a car that can easily make power and handle it safely? I do agree that not everyone needs 500 horsepower, but some people do use it. This vehicle is designed to compete with cars worth twice as much, as it always has been with the GTR. Since this is Nissan's halo car, you could argue it is getting dated now, as Chrysler has the 700 horsepower Hellcat amongst other companies offering large power. I own a 90S 13240SX, and before that I had an 04 Frontier and 08 Frontier respectively. Always wanted an R chassis myself, but yes, I do agree it has gotten a little out of hand, in terms of the hype. No one needs that much power. User K31 Advice 96 comments that nobody needs that much power is always a terrible argument without qualification. The C10 Skyline GTR had an absurd engine for its time. It sounds like nothing special now, but keep in mind that at the time the Corvette in 1970 had maybe 64 horsepower per liter while the S20 engine pumped out 80 horsepower per liter. It was like the Honda F20C with how much power it extracted out of a tiny displacement. The engine was basically straight out of an R380 race car that competed directly with the very best of Porsche, and then they dropped it in a Skyline and took it racing. That car was the C10 Skyline GTR, and it completely dominated Japan's touring car racing. And then Nissan produced a homologated version for mass production. Touring car racing at the time was not some absurd thing that had no bearing on the actual car, so you can see how GTR fans became a thing there. The next generation that really left an impression was the R32 GTR. Again, the story was very much the same. The RB2060 ETT was purpose-built for racing, the 2.6L displacement specifically chosen to give it the best chance of beating the competition. The R32 GTR dominated touring car racing, and the production model version was almost the exact same thing with some extra luxuries. If you decided to build the engine without regard for emissions or everyday drivability, it's entirely possible to get up to the 650 horsepower that some of the race cars got to. I would say that the R34 GTR received its reputation because it was the last of the inline-six Skyline GTRs and because it was in Fast and the Furious. The R35 received its reputation through Nürburgring lap times. But are these cars overrated? Yes. They are not the fastest, wildest things out there. But there is more to the Nissan GTR than having that status.